Hey, Tony Gassens here. Now, a lot of y'all sent me the video of Judge Mathis' situation, and being that this is in the public, that's the only reason why I'm speaking on it. You know, I don't really care about anybody else's relationship other than my own, because I got to make that work every day with my wife. And so, but the lesson here is kind of what I was telling you about in another video. I don't know if it's up yet, where sometimes I have a quote that says, sometimes people don't sit down to listen until you stand up to leave. Now, if he really want his wife back, I personally believe he can get her back. But the question that you have to ask yourself, and it's not talking about them, that they in the media, but I'm gonna just speak for everyday relationships, and I want you to get the relationship lesson. Don't ever compare your relationship to somebody else's relationship, but get the lessons that are in front of you. So the lesson to the men is an ounce of prevention weighs more than a pound of cure. So do what you know you're supposed to do before you leave, before you lose your woman, and then you don't have to worry about trying to get your woman back. If you do what you're supposed to do, when you know she giving you warning, she telling you what it is, she done let you know, but you got complacent. Don't get complacent with your woman and think that her kindness is weakness. Don't think that her grace and mercy for you is foolishness and weakness and insecurity. And don't keep playing in her face, testing her and pushing her to where you want to force her hand, because a woman is built for love. That's what you got to understand as a man. A woman is built for love. So just because she stays does not mean that she's weak. It does not mean that she doesn't love herself. It does not mean that you the end all be all and you God's gift to women. It does not mean that. It means that she love you, and she trying to give you grace, and she trying to give you time, and she want to see you change and grow. So you got to understand that. To a woman, don't just tell a man what you want and what you need. Also tell him what the consequences will be if he doesn't give you that. So there are women who there's women who, I just seen a sign say divorce, $349. They promoting divorce. The attorney is like, come on, y'all, you tired? Come on, $349, we get the paperwork. Don't just tell a man, hey, if you keep being mean to me, it's gonna make me be susceptible to talking to another man and cheating on you if I get in a vulnerable situation and I meet a man at work, or I bump into somebody that I used to love, or somebody I used to date, and you talking to me like this, I have nothing to hold on to. That's honestly what we have to hear as men. Yeah, we gonna poke our chest out and we gonna, you know, fuss. Oh, what you trying to say? Oh, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? But if you would literally do that, because it's women who go and do that, but had you told a man that's what you were gonna do, he probably would have changed his life. He probably would have changed. Or if you're not that type of woman and you're not gonna do that, you would never cheat, you would never like sleep with another man, or you wouldn't even talk to another man in a way that seemed like y'all sleeping together. If you wouldn't do that, then you don't say that. But what would you do? Would you lead? Would you lead a man? If you will lead a man, then tell him, hey, if you keep doing what you're doing, whatever that may be, I am leaving. This is my last time telling you. And I know that you think that I'm bluffing. I know you think that I can't live without you. I know you may think that I just will never leave. And I don't know why you think that. I don't know what gave you that. But I've been here this long because I love you, but this is my last time telling you I am leaving you. And the thing about it is, when you say that, you got to stand on that. It is abusive if you say that every week. That is a mind game. Now you playing mind games. So you got to understand this and realize that it's a lesson on both sides. Now, speaking of their relationship, that was just a general lesson. Speaking of their relationship and relationships that's been together for, not just their relationship, I'll take that back, but speaking to the relationships that's been decades, so let's say 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, all of that right there. Y'all gotta forgive my wife made me a little cough. I'm tearing that cough up. I believe that that a man could get a woman back if he really makes a change and he does what he has to do. But the question becomes for that woman is, how do I know this is real? Like, if you've been this same person for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, how do I know that this is real? Now, I believe that what a woman should do is, if a man want to get a woman back after she has given him chances and told him and he done push her to the point that she had to file for divorce, I believe what a woman should do is before I keep going, make sure you click the link in the description box for your opportunity to invest and own a piece of my future YouTube revenue. You'll see the revenue from the last 12 months. You'll see all the other things. You'll see the Q&A. I want you to join me. I want you to be a partner. So click the link in the description. I almost forgot that. What a woman should do is, she should choose the clinician that she wants, or the professional that she wants. Because, like, there's single women who are coaching loving relationships, and there's single men who are coaching loving relationships, and those single male and female doctors actually come to channels like this and steal the information and then go teach it. So y'all remember my Q&A where I used to say, hey, get your track shoes, and I'm the only one use that term, track shoes. Now, you listen to certain doctors talk in their interviews, they'll say, I got my track shoes. And then you'll see them doctors follow me on Instagram, on somewhere on social media, or have mentioned me, but don't want to admit that someone without a doctor or degree actually have an understanding of love and relationships. So that's why I say clinician or professional, because you may see a man or a woman, as if you the woman or if you the man, whichever side it is, you may see a man or a woman that you say, regardless of whatever their title is, that you say, hey, I like this type of message. This is the type of message we need in our relationship. I think what a woman should do is require that the man, or vice versa, if it's the other way around, that the person who trying to come back go through a minimum of 12 sessions. 1 session per week for 12 weeks. That's the minimum before you get back together. Because what this is going to show, is going to show that they're willing. It's going to show humility. And it's going to show that they're not trying to rush you and force you back. It's also going to give them 12 weeks to see if they really want to come back or if they just playing. It's also going to give you 12 weeks to see if you want them back. It's because in this time, y'all may either realize that it's best to be apart, or you may realize that you really do miss each other. And the scary part, if one of you have a realization and the other one don't, in either way it goes, whether be together or not to be together, The hope is that both of you will feel the same way after them 12 weeks. But if you have to get to the point to where you got to file for divorce, or you have to pack up and leave and move if y'all not married, but you got to leave and like you got to completely cut it, then that 12 weeks is imperative, because you need that time. Because the same way you could be quote unquote love bomb, whoever created that term, the same way you could be love bomb in the beginning of a relationship, you also could be love bomb on the rebound of a relationship. So you need that time. Now what you're gonna see is sometimes, now, hey, I'm going to pick up some lunch for the family, so when I get there, I think I gotta walk in to get it. So God bless you, we're gonna end the video when I get there. Sometimes, or I may, you know what, I might just let the phone sit here, go in and get it, come back so I can finish if I ain't done talking. Y'all forgive me, and just fast forward through it. Or take that time, you could pause it and go click the link in the description and then go ahead and look and see if you want to invest in the channel. But sometimes what'll happen is somebody'll say, oh, I want to get my wife back or get my husband back. But when you say, hey, you got to go have sessions with Lisa Smith or John Doe, huh? Why do I have to do that? I don't need that. I got my own person. I done already chose. I shouldn't have to work with who you want me to work with. I should be able to choose who best fits me and who I want to work with. But see, the thing is if somebody has been toxic enough for you to have to leave them, that person is not going to choose somebody who is going to challenge them and somebody that they actually is going to have to hear and respect and learn from. They're going to pick somebody who gonna come in with their doctorate, with their breast out and with a bodycon dress. They're gonna pick somebody that's easy on the eyes. They're gonna pick somebody that they know is a Jezebel spirit or some other kind of spirit and just got that title or in that position, but really don't have no effectiveness, really don't have any real purpose and calling to be doing what they trying to do and not really changing nothing. And so they're gonna pick that. So that's why if you got to be with this person and you got to accept them back, you look around, you get on Google, you go do a session. If you want it to be in-person sessions, or if you want it to be Zoom sessions or whatever, you go do a session with a few different people and you see who has the message that you feel your relationship needs. Because the person is going on their own, and then you get the approval to where you're able to say, hey, I don't want to hear what y'all talked about, but for y'all 12 sessions, I'm just asking for permission for my ex to give you permission to let me know, to confirm with me that y'all did have a session. Because I am, you know, this is a requirement. This is a non-negotiable. And so then they'll just hit you up, because I done had to do that, where I hit the person up. Yep, such and such had a session. I'm like, okay, cool. And I remember one time, this couple, they went through a breakup, and one of the individuals hired me for coaching and did coaching with me, and they wanted their partner to have coaching with me, and they told their partner, and then their partner was like, no, I'm not doing it. No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. This was a woman with a man, and but the man could see that I ain't about the games. I'm not with the game. So the woman took and said, well, he said he doesn't want to do sessions, and that we don't need that, and that we understand each other, and that we're gonna be fine, and he gonna change. I said, all right. I said, all right, go ahead, you know, take his word for it. I said, you gonna see. They were broke up 6 months later and never got back together. They were done. And then I seen the same thing with a man and a woman. The woman made like she wanted woman had a Jezebel spirit, so she made like she wanted to do sessions, and then the woman wanted the man to do sessions because she thought that because I am for women's empowerment, and because I treat my wife amazing, and I believe that a woman should be treated good, she thought that I was gonna like just automatically take her side and just tell and like rip her man a new one and just tell him he trash. Like a lot of y'all thought with that interview y'all sent me, y'all thought I was just gonna jump on here and just go at the man, but I had some words for the lady that he was working with as well. And so she was shocked because technically she was in the wrong, and she had an amazing man, and she was running all over the man, and she was doing him dirty and trying to use him. And so I told her that to her face, and we had a one-on-one session. And I told her, listen, you a Jezebel, and you moving like a HO, like how you carry yourself. You carry yourself like a HO, and you got a good man that you taking for granted, and you trying to use, and you dogging him out. And boy, after that right there, she didn't want her man to talk to me no more. Don't talk to him. Tony is the worst. He is this, he is this, he is that, when it was her idea to begin with. But the thing about it is, when you in these toxic relationships, that person who is toxic, they got their hooks in you, and they'll get you to the place to where you'll start to listen to them because you sleeping with them, and they know what to do to get you. And so sometimes it works both ways. Sometimes the one person who is the perceived victim also is guilty of some stuff, and they know that if they partner will listen to an outside source, that they partner could be enlightened to what they doing wrong. And so, but then they know they partner is also got some wrong in them. So if they partner wrong get called out, then they know now they partner not gonna want to work with the outside source because they got called out. So now the other person get to say, well, great, we don't need the therapist or the counselor or the life coach or the relationship coach. We could do this because they also got something up their sleeve, and they want to be able to get over. So sometimes somebody will leave and they'll blow something up and make it worse than it is, and they will leave to get the other person to beg them back and to come back and to eat out their hand when they had already been there reinforcing it for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And it's like, okay, you done reinforce it this long, now all of a sudden you too good for it. And so now what's the issue? But then when this person comes back, do you want to just keep throwing their mistakes in their face, or do you want them to do the work? That person does the work, do 12 sessions, then y'all do 12 sessions together. Then for the rest of y'all relationship, at least for the next year to 5 years, y'all do 1 session a month. Y'all do 1 session a month as a couple. And then if y'all want to and you feel the need, then y'all could do also 1 session by yourself and 1 session as a couple. So for the coaches, you know, if y'all using the same person, which it's not always recommended to use the same person because it could be a conflict of interest. So you can do one of, at that point, once y'all done work through it, now one person could have a person and the other person could have a professional, and y'all do it like that. But you have to require this. It's not, you can't just listen to, oh, I'm sorry, I'm never gonna mistreat you again, I'm gonna do this. And you need to tell the person too, hey, don't give me any flowers, don't give me any gifts, don't give me a new Rolex, don't get me a new car. Like, if you really serious about this, don't get bought. Because when you allow yourself to get bought, that stuff does affect your mind. It affects your mind, and it makes a difference. And if they see that you will accept all their money and gifts, then that makes them think, oh, so you a gold digger. You use me for money. You really want money. You don't want my heart. You don't want my apology. You don't want my change. You want a new Range Rover. You want a new Escalade. You want a new house. You want a new wedding ring. You really want this. And you might not even want that, but because you accepted it, they toxic mind gonna spin that narrative. I'll be right back. We need to go at least 30 minutes. I'll be right back. Y'all, let me go grab this food real quick. Made a bite. Y'all forgive him. So that's the thing. So sometimes, and see, this is the thing. Sometimes in these situations, it be a little bit of toxicity in both sides. And I have seen it. I have seen it up close and personal. And we all could be guilty of it. Sometimes we will make an issue about something that we know is wrong. We know it's wrong, but it don't really bother us. And we could deal with it. We know it's not really hurting us like that. It's not the end of the world. But when we make that issue, we get all of this sympathy and sorries and gifts and all. We get the benefits of that. So the person be like, oh, I'm so sorry, this and that. So then you mess around and you be like, okay, well, man, you know what? I made a big deal about this and got me a new car. Made a big deal about this, got me $1,000 worth of roses. Made a big deal about this, got a new ring. And so sometimes that could get into it. So you have to also, when you the victim and you the person that is being begged for your heart back, you gotta be careful and make sure that it's all the way genuine. And what you want is love and respect and good treatment, not money and cars and all of that right there. Because I have seen times where it's been times where, y'all gotta forgive me, get on up a little bit. It's been times where I have seen where people taking, they about to come out, they about to tell their story, they about to liberate, they about to set the captives free, and then that ex with that money come, hey, you know, just wanted to give you this brand new 2024, 2025 Escalade for you and the kids. And also I've decided, you know, I'm gonna buy y'all a new house. All of a sudden, whoop, that book they was finna write, yep. Hold on, book, we'll be all right. We'll need to tell this story. So it's like, okay, so you really ain't want respect, you wanted money. And that's what you got to be careful of as well. That you play your hand right now. You can't get out there and show that really you wanted money, really you wanted gifts, really you wanted just a bunch of sorries and sympathies. But no, you want respect and love. And y'all understand what I'm teaching on is for everyday relationships. I'm not talking about specifically the judge and his wife's relationship, because some people are so used to watching gossip bloggers. What you got to realize is when you come on this channel, I'm not a gossip blogger. I take real life scenarios and I teach real life lessons. So if you notice, when you watch gossip bloggers, they're not giving you advice. They're not teaching you. They're just reporting the facts of the relationship. So if I take and use somebody's name in the title because that's what y'all have requested for me to talk about, and that's the videos y'all sending me, I'm using a name so you know, hey, Tony seen my video, he seen my request, and me asking him to address this. And it's nothing really I see on my own that y'all don't see, because I'm not on social media or online no more than anybody else. So it always gonna go hand in hand. But what you got to realize is I'm not talking about that couple specifically all the way across the board. Yeah, I'm using the examples that we could see of them, but I also understand we don't know their real business. So we don't know what really happened all in the relationship. Do I believe that the judge did not cheat on his wife at all in all them years? No, I don't believe that. Just because I know men. Now, could he have not cheated? Yeah, he could have not cheated. And do I believe he was mean and rude and distant and neglectful? Yeah, and he said that, but he say he didn't cheat. He say it didn't have anything to do with fidelity. Do I believe that? Nah, I don't necessarily believe that, but my opinion and my thought on what they got going on don't really matter. So what I'm just taking is the figures, the dynamics of what we can see for those of you who are in your own relationship and you going through something similar, because divorce is not far from any of us. Like, anybody could go through a divorce. Anybody could be neglectful in their relationship. Anybody could feel abused or unwanted or mistreated or what have you. All of that none of us above that. None of us above it. Like, we all could go through that. And I honestly, I thank God for the examples that is happening out there. Not thankful that it's happening, but I'm glad that I see it, because it holds me accountable. And when I see a man who he making money, I'm making money, he decent looking, I'm decent looking, he in a long-term relationship, I'm in a long-term relationship, and I hear him say he neglecting his wife, that right there, that quickened my spirit. And I'm like, okay, let me make sure I'm not neglecting my wife. Let me make sure I'm not traveling around to sporting events with the boys too much. And let me make sure I'm not working too much, like, okay, boy, I see that, I see what happened right there. All right, let me get on top of my game. Okay, boom, I see a comment from a lady. The comment says that the worst thing a man could be to a woman is mean, and that a man being mean will hurt her more than a man cheating on her. That might not be the case for all women, but when I see that right there, it speaks to me, and it says, okay, Tony, you might not be cheating on your wife, but make sure you talking to her right. Make sure you're not being mean, you're not being rude, you're not being condescending. Make sure that you are present. Make sure you're not distant. Make sure she doesn't feel alienated. She doesn't feel ignored. Because just because you a faithful man don't mean that your relationship is perfect. So this how I take and look at this stuff that happened in the media. This how I look at it and take inventory and take and apply the lessons to my life. So I want to make that clear on here and help y'all understand that this is not a gossip channel. I'm not just coming. That's why people be like, Tony, if you're gonna speak on somebody, the least you could do is learn how to pronounce their name, or just go do a little bit of reading about their situation. And it's like, that's where you misunderstanding. I'm not speaking on them. They are the muse. They are what's in the media. I'm taking that scenario and I'm speaking for us, to us, about what we can face in a relationship. I don't care two red pennies about their relationship. If they're not reaching out to me for coaching, to help them, to sign a non-disclosure agreement and help them in their relationship, I don't care. whether they together or not, because I want them to do what's best for them. But for us as a whole, I'm taking the lessons and teaching on the lessons, teaching on the figures that we see. So we see this example of man, woman, 40 years, which basically long-term relationship, because same as 20, same as 30 years. Long-term relationship. Man is busy. Man is... So I'm looking at the avatar, not the people. So I have to explain that because common sense is not common. And I know for those of y'all who you firing on all cylinders and like you get it, like you switched on, what they call it in England, switched on. We don't say that in America. You switched on and you get it. I know it gets exhausting, and you kind of be like, and sometimes y'all be in the comments and be like, Tony, you don't have to explain to people who is committed to not understanding what you're doing. And it's like, I do have to explain it. You know why? Because Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, explained. And then he explained again and explained again. And somebody would ask him a question, like I was reading this morning. They said, hey, why don't your disciples fast often? You know, they don't be fasting often. And then he said, he used the bride and the groom. He used the groom and the groom's guest. He was like, should somebody mourn in the presence of the groom when the groom about to get married, or should they spend that time with the groom? Then he used the putting, what he said, like an old patch on new clothes, and then he used the old wine skins for new wine, and he used 3 different explanations to make a point to this person who asked a question that wasn't none of their business. So that's my model of why I address haters. Tony, why you addressing haters? Why you addressing haters? Because we are instructed to love those, to love our haters, to bless those who persecute us. And so that's why I address it. And sometimes when you address certain things and certain people and what's going on, people gonna call you a hater. It's a lot of times I have to address stuff and people want to call me, oh, you jealous, oh, you a hater. But that's because they don't want to be held accountable. That's because they don't want to look in the mirror, and they don't want to see themselves, and they don't want to see their misrepresentation and their misleading. And so I get that. So I don't go back and forth with those people. I speak my piece. I say what got to be said. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to take heed. I go on about my business. Because if they don't want to listen when somebody is on the outside looking in, trying to help them and give them a word of advice, then guess what's going to happen? They're gonna fall on their face in real life, and now the whole world gonna see this. What happened when you don't listen, when people could see something plain as day and try to help you and you don't want to listen, life gonna come. And I have to deal with this too in every area of life. Like I have family members who will not listen. They won't take a word of advice, and then life happens, and then they come back to you and they need money. They need help here. They need help there. But had they took that ounce of prevention, they would not need a pound of cure. And then, you know, and I help and I help and I help. But then it comes to a time where it's like, okay, no, that's a misuse of my family funds. I got a wife and kids. I can't use my family money to keep covering not your need, but covering your ignorance, covering your want, covering your irresponsibility. You're not coming with a need. You coming with basically a fine. I'm paying a fine for your negligence, for your disobedience, and that's not my job. Jesus will cover your multitude of sins. That's what he died on the cross for. That's not my place. So you got to understand that when we look at this stuff right here on this here channel, do not get this confused with a gossip blog channel. Don't get this confused. We are taking real situations that's really happening. So that way, nobody can say, oh, we speaking on stuff that ain't even realistic. Don't nobody even go through that. Because think about it. Had I come on here with a topic and I said, yeah, so I want to talk on if a man met a woman in college and he was with her for 39 years and then she filed for divorce. I want to talk on that situation. And the man claims to have never cheated. Everybody be like, what? That don't even make no sense, Tony. That doesn't even happen. Like, that's a teenage sweetheart. And there's no way a woman gonna be leaving a man who he has never cheated. And there's no way a man gonna say that she's not leaving because of infidelity. And if she leaves, oh, that's that thing where 90% of women, 90% of divorces are filed by women, and she just bored and she just wants something new. And good riddance for him. He's not even gonna try to fight for her back because he done obviously gave everything he could. So if I just came out here and made up the scenario, it wouldn't even sound realistic. And if they got money and they got millions, they got everything, so that don't even make sense. How could that even happen? If I just made that up, made a scenario, it would not make sense. You'd be like, but that's why they say, somebody wrote the quote, that, what it say, the truth is stranger than fiction. Like life stranger than fiction. Like art imitates life. Like if Tyler Perry took and made that a script, Judge Mathis' life story, his relationship story, if he made that a script, people like, oh man, Tyler reaching. But now we look at life and we see here is a couple who got millions of dollars, beautiful family, 39 years together. I don't know if it's together or marriage or whatever it is. 39 years is the number that's being reported. And then the woman files for divorce. But earlier in this same year, the couple was seen on the red carpet happy and kissing, perceivably happy and kissing. And then just a matter of months later, the wife is filing for divorce. And the man says it's not infidelity. He says it's from neglect. He said it's from being gone and working too hard and being gone too much and neglect. With everything that black women go through, we cannot fathom a woman being with a man 39 years and only leaving him because he has a busy schedule. We can't even fathom it. But that's the reality. That could be a reality. Now, is that the only thing? We don't know. Because just like with Tom Brady and Giselle, Tom said he was going to retire. He went back to the NFL for another year. Giselle left him. Now, do you really believe she left him only because he wanted to work one more year? Just one more year was all he was about to do. One more year and he leaving the greatest legacy a quarterback can ever leave in the history of the NFL. And what he's done may take forever to be even compared to. I think he got 6 or 7 rings, more rings than Michael Jordan, or maybe the same, I can't remember. So just off of 1 year, with all that a woman can endure, with all that a woman has endured, with all that a woman go through giving birth, she gonna leave a man just off 1 year? But you know what, when I look into that and I see the way, the maniacal possession that Tom Brady has for the game of football, and when I see the way that he curses out grown men who can beat him to a pulp, I'm not even an NFL player, and I'm guaranteeing you I'll beat the brakes off Tom Brady. So I know them linemen that he be cursing out like they are just filthy vagabonds. Can you imagine how he talked to a woman? If he will talk to a 6'6", 300-pound man like he is a piece of crap. And it don't matter, he the battle or not, you the GOAT or not, you gonna talk to me with some respect. I was playing pickup soccer and my teammate got too much bass in his voice at me on the field, and I had to check him. I said, hey, don't talk to me like that. You better watch who you talking to. He come back after the end. Hey man, I'm so sorry, man. I just was passionate, man. I didn't mean anything by it. You know, I'm just so sorry. This guy was twice my size, swole too, all muscle. He in the military. He a vet, strong. He probably could have whooped my behind, but I don't care. I'm a grown man. So think about this now. Think about this, because I work all the time. I work and I have seasons where I work hard. You know what my wife does with the time that she gets with me? She love all over me. She talking non-stop. We talking non-stop. And if that's just 30 minutes a day, 1 hour a day, it be the greatest 30 minutes, the greatest 1 hour. And she don't try to keep me from my purpose. She don't try to keep me from my work. Now she'll interrupt like a conversation I'm having with a mentee or something if she needs something or what have you. She'll interrupt any conversation if she needs something, but she knows she got that place in my life and she could do that. She could shut anything down at any time, but she don't do that. So when Giselle left Tom and everybody was saying, oh, it's because he promised her and she been waiting 10 years. And I'm like, it's just 1 more year. This legacy for life. Like, I just don't believe that she gonna end a whole relationship off of that one thing. No, it was some more in there. But see, and that's common sense, but we not gonna get told that. She not finna bash the man. She ain't finna, this a legend. She ain't finna put all that man business out there. She not finna accuse that man. She not finna tell the world that he's verbally abusive. She not finna say that. But she gone by her business. And if she left only because of that one promise that was broken, that's her right to. That's her right to. Do I believe that was the only thing? No. Because I could look at Tom Brady and see how he is. And that's the same thing with Judge Mathis. I could look at him and just see, it ain't just no neglect. It ain't just you flying around the country with your homeboys. Yeah. Some other ingredients in that soup now. What else in that soup now? And that's just my personal belief, and I could be off base. But that's how perception is. That is how perception is, and that's what we got to realize and understand. But hey, I'm back home with my lunch. God bless you. Make sure you click the link in the description. See if you want to be a partner in my YouTube channel, an investor in the channel. Everything is on there. It's straightforward for you. If you don't understand percentages, then talk to a financial advisor or a finance person so they could tell you, okay, well, this percentage is this and this return is this. This is what this means. Look at the Q&A as well. But it's pretty straightforward. It's basically, if you invest, you own that piece of the channel, and then in the future payments, that piece that you own, that's what'll be paid out to you. So, but due to SEC regulations, I'm not allowed to do like a Q&A here. Somebody was like, oh, can you go live for the Blessed Tribe and do a Q&A? Can't do that due to SEC regulations because everybody has to get the same information. So if I mess around and I'm answering a question and I say something that's wrong, then I could get in trouble with the SEC because I gave you wrong information. Or if I give you information, but every potential investor didn't have the same information, now that could be seen as like insider trading or something like that. So that's why on the page you will see the Q&A, and the questions that you have, you can post a question, and then when I see it, I'll answer it. And then sometimes you may just have to reach out to the support, which you'll see the support email in there as well. But hey, this is Tony Gasson. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Awesome. God bless y'all. We'll talk soon.